Well, hello, welcome to Drawing with Her. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, and I'm joined today with hubby.
Okay.
And we are going to work on something I haven't worked on camera, and I had to look it up over 6 months. It's been a long time. My friend Brenda over on the channel Pyrography ME, which is Pyrography Made Easy, has been asking about her, wanting to know if we were going to see her again, so I thought we could work on some fog and lighting today, which is down in here, along in here. So we're going to do that.
Wow.
What?
Well, you've made a lot of progress on this.
Well, that's why I wanted to show. The last time
Excuse me.
we saw it, it looked like about that. And
Okay.
this is the main reference photo for the front, because I was also going to do the sides on this one. So that's where that is. So from here to here. Oh, I can't click on the right darn ones, can I? No, I can't. There we go. What? I'm just gonna bounce
I was
all
watching
the...
a skit last night, Prospector, Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
You can't click on the right darn one.
So that's what I worked on the top last night, and we're doing the bottom today. I've already got my large ball tip heating up at 3.5. No, I don't. I heated the wrong pin.
Oh.
Thankfully, it was on my counter the right way.
Well, Beryl is here, and Senra
Hey,
and
Beryl.
Ted and Podge and Philip and Ash and Sheila and Eve.
Yay! All our wonderful regulars. Hi, Cindy, Sheila, Ash, Philip, Eve, Ted, Podge. And I already got Beryl. Did I get everybody? Philip.
Philip.
I said Philip because I was reading the chat.
Well, Philip got his name said a bunch of times, didn't he?
Well, we're just
It must be special.
Must be.
Look at the snow come down.
I know. It's about time. Okay, so heating up the large
I don't
ball
have to hear about it. I'm sweating.
I know. So underneath, because this is my main branch sticking out, and I did go dark underneath, but I need to go even darker behind it, and that will do two things with the light. It will pop this branch out with the moss, which is our main part of the composition. It will help so that where I don't burn or I lightly burn for the fog, it'll have that feeling of seeing the fog. Fog doesn't take a whole lot of light in order for you to see it. If you've ever noticed, when it's dark outside, you can still see the fog, and it's because the light bounces around in it. So I'm actually going to turn my board. I try not to, but I'm going to have to. So I know based on what I'm looking at, I'm going to have to go darker here, and this, even though I went dark here, hopefully I won't have to scratch back to lighten it. I'm going darker, and actually, now that I think about it, I was actually heating up the right tip, because I think the 18M will do a smoother burn for the area that I'm looking at.
Ted says snow is a 4-letter word.
No, it's a happy 4-letter word, Ted.
Beryl wants to know, are you going to add color to this?
I haven't decided. If I added color, it would be very little on the Hummingbird. Alright, 4.5 with the 18M. Now I gotta get an angle, because the camera is like right in my face, in order for it to not be too off for you all. So now, even though that branch looked dark, look how it's lightening up. And we've got some underhead highlighting, or underneath, because the light would bounce off a bit from the fog, and lighten that branch. And doing it, it pushes the area underneath back. And normally I don't try to do a halo, but in this case, it works for me. When it works, use it. So I'll get that underneath. I do feel as I've been burning this more that I went too dark with the hummingbird too quickly. And so I'm going to have to darken up a lot of areas to lighten her up.
You were impatient. Not unlike me, who is very patient and never rushes.
You're funny.
Thank you.
I know. So there's rocks underneath here. I'm not really going to worry about if I get their textures perfectly on, because in the fog, you're not going to see a lot of detail. And this is a bunch of photos that I put together to make this piece.
I know it was 6 months ago, but we established 6 months ago that this is not a photo collage. This is actually a world that you found.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
In the closet.
That's right. In the closet. So I'm trying to spin slowly because it's better to move your board than to stand on your head.
Meryl is reminding us that she's on vacation.
I know.
She says that Mexican internet is worse than my internet at home.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but I'm sure she's drinking like something with an umbrella in it at this point and eating tacos, so.
Can't complain. Actually, though, she said her host had been making her coffee every morning and big margaritas every night.
Yeah.
So though her and hubby apparently got sick. So hopefully they're doing better.
He drank the water.
No, it wasn't the water. Apparently it was an empanada for Burl. She didn't tell me what hubby ate. So there we go.
I've never been. I've been to lots of places in the world, but I've never been to Mexico.
I've only been to Border Town. Still awesome food for me.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright. So I gotta.
Someday.
Yep.
Someday.
So I gotta pay attention to where the fog starts, because we're gonna have to blur out the darker fog. So there's no, you know how I've got a line here that's standing out. We don't want that with the fog. In order to make it look like fog, I'm gonna have to lose the detail. And I'm trying to reshape the branch a little bit. Give it a little more character.
If you want to reshape the branch, just get a hold of its representative, the manager, the branch manager.
Oh God. And he's here for the next 50 plus years.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky. And I didn't mean that one sarcastic.
I know.
Okay, so I've got a rock here. See, I have to pay attention because I've got a my full picture, but my full picture is not the full transfer on the board because of how I did it. It's going to be wrapping around, so I've been forgetting about that, and I have to remember where things line up. So, gots to remember.
I keep hearing the snow trucks come by on our street.
There's nothing there yet.
Well, I know, but you know how they panic around here. Snow is following. Launch the fleet.
Yeah, that's because of the college students who don't know how to drive in it.
Meanwhile, where I'm from, it's like, should we launch the trucks yet? I don't know. It's only a foot. Let's wait till it gets 2 feet.
So I'm gonna go darker at the top and kind of do some ovals to bring it down so that it's not too dark. Same temperature, because I'm moving quicker, it's lighter, and then I can go back and kind of blend them together. I know this branch is off a bit, and I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it too. Not that you
Nice. So we got rock there. It's been a long time since I looked at this burning. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. Bad because I forgot what the plan was. Good because I've taken a break from looking at it and can see more of what I want to change.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bring that up.
Beryl's saying that could have been the flu that she had.
Oh, it's not empanada.
I'd hope not. Robin Short is here.
Hey, Robin.
And so is Senrose.
Yeah, I got Cindy.
Oh, okay. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because you said it at the top, at the beginning. Alright, so let's pull
I sure
this
did.
down.
Sorry.
Tights.
Oh, Christopher Kiki is here.
Well, hello, Christopher.
Christoph Kiki.
Well, hello. Welcome. We have not got to hang with Christoph before. Alright, so I'm bringing that down. Small circles. In the photo, I can't see texture of the rock. So I'm not going to try to put too much in. Because that's how I made it.
Michael Zakaria is here.
Hi, Michael.
That's great.
Thank y'all. I honestly don't know how I feel about this one. And I think that's why maybe that and I got busy with a lot of other things. Why it's not done. There's some things I'm not happy with. And I have to keep telling myself to finish it before I fully decide if I'm happy with it. And since Brenda really wanted to see where she's at, I figured why not? I did get some more work done on the elephants. Maybe I'll pop those up in a little while. So I'm just bringing it down. Remember, I can always darken things up, so I'm not going to stress about it. I may have to use higher heat, but I can always...
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
I blocked my reference. Let's see here. I can look at that one.
Robin says she thinks it is weird that Arizona gets snow.
Yeah, we do.
I thought it was weird too. The first time I was here in Flagstaff was a very long time ago, over 20 years ago. In our flight flew into Flagstaff because we had to refuel our helicopters, and we landed in Flagstaff Airport.
Love, you're quiet.
I'm talking.
I know, but you're talking quiet.
They can hear me.
Okay.
And anyway, so we refueled here, and it blew my mind because we had been flying through rocks and all kinds of different rock formations and things like that, and then all of a sudden there was trees, and then we landed in a sea of pine trees with a mountain. So little did I know we'd be living here.
I thought one day I would live here. So I'm just trying to kind of block in so I can get rid of the graphite. And this is my 4-in-1 eraser.
What are the other three things?
It acts like a kneaded eraser, white eraser, two other things I can't think of. What are some of the other erasers? Because it's supposed to be acting like 4 different erasers in one.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Hey.
Remember. No, what I'm saying is you don't know, so I don't have to know. I don't remember. But I do like them. I use them for everything. Alright, so we got... Our fog is actually starting right about here, as in a lighter fog. So I'm trying to watch that as I bring it down, because if I don't, it's going to throw me off.
Okay.
So I'm going to Draw it down. Keeping it light, it's going to go darker. Even with it being a darker fog, because it's in the shadow, there's still a lot of light in there bouncing around. But thankfully, we don't have to worry about putting all that light in. We use that with tonal values of our burn.
Chat wants to know if the vanish eraser, does it fade the graphite or erase it?
Most of the time it erases it. I used to use one of this, just the retractable white regular erasers, and then I moved over to electric eraser, and then decided to try this eraser because I think I needed to add something extra into our cart to get free shipping. So I was like, what's this eraser? And haven't looked back. Bought more. I need to buy more. I'm down to 2 main ones. I always seem to give them away. I know you got some.
Do I?
Mm-hmm. I've given you one. Sent one to Joshua when I sent him my razor tip. Before I sent him the razor tip. Let's see here. Alright. So this, I still need to push back more. But let's get this fog in. So based on my lines, that is my main one. This is where it gets darker. Alright. And I still haven't adjusted my heat. I'm still at 4.5. But how I'm holding the pen and how I'm moving it is what's making it lighter. Really knowing your pens and how they burn, regardless of what kind of burner you have, really helps you feel more comfortable to jump in and do those darker burns. Get that contrast in so that the light is working with you and helping you to grow as an artist. Alright, so that's the dark in there. That's where I know the dark is. So what I'm going to do is now turn this so my arm's comfortable. Slow down. I might have to go a little higher in heat because I've now burned the wood. Am I on camera?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get this darker.
Well, your hand's covered by the reference, but the tip is, you can see where you're working.
That's fine. That's what matters. In fact, I might switch over to 18 small. To get into small. Yeah, I'm going to have to up the heat. I have noticed, and I don't know if it's because I've let this wood sit for a long while. I know that Brenda did tests on these cradle boards, and she said she had feathering going on, and I think because I've allowed this to sit, we've gone through monsoon season, we've gone through cold, still going through cold, dry, and I'm wondering if the wood's reacting a little bit to it.
What is feathering?
When I say feathering, if you look at, let's see if I can get it. Okay, if you look at the top of the rocks here, you can really see the grain of the wood. That's feathering.
Oh.
Where it's not as smooth as I would like.
Why don't you call it graining?
I don't know. That's just the term other people have used, so I've kept it.
Okay.
Okay, graining. It's graining. There. Does that work? I don't know why. Because it's feathering out. It's not a It's like, oh, okay, like an ink pen. Depending on what paper you write on, it could be really smooth and stay the line that you drew. Or if you use a different kind of paper, a rougher paper, you might draw a line, but then it feathers out and isn't as detailed and crisp. There you go. So it would be a drawing term.
Okay.
That has crossed over. Alright, so I'm at 4.5 with the 18S, and this is going to be darker. Even though I'm on the same temperature, it's a smaller tip. And one that I can use. You okay?
Yeah.
I can use the full tip. Whereas the 18M works better if you angle it up a bit. You won't be able to really see me angle it up based on the camera. But I'm using just the tip. Like, at least half of the tip on the 18M, but on the 18S, I can use the full tip. So, let's see here.
What does grainy mean?
Do I? Can you demo graining? Let's see here. It's kind of doing it where I'm at now.
Oh, wait. Was that just the thing that I made up?
Yeah, that's the thing you made up.
Oh, there is no grainy.
Sorry,
Sorry, chat. Maybe I should not
feathering.
do that. It's feathering. Sorry.
Feathering is what I was talking about. What I'm doing here, it's kind of doing it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good for the fog though, right?
Yeah, I can use it before. Again, this is another way to use your wood and what it's doing instead of fighting it. But like right here, I wanted a little crisper line, so I'm going to just slow down and use more heat.
You know, that's something that
there, that right there is a bit of graining, feathering. Let me see here. Underneath.
What you just said about like knowing what you're working with, that's like something that you hear from sculptors. Like they see a block of marble or whatever it is that they're working with, and they look at how it's, they look at how it's composed,
yeah.
And they work within the material and let the material help bring their vision into reality. And it's the better the sculptor, the more that they're able to work with the material.
Well, because they can have a better idea of where the faults are within the stone, so how to hit it changes so that what they want to break off breaks off, and what they don't want to break off sticks around. Let's see here. I'm gonna change this a bit.
I would expect that you would be very good at sculpting. Because it's a very difficult thing, and very difficult mediums you seem to gravitate towards.
I got frustrated with polymer clay, so I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got it going on here.
Yeah, you got it going on.
In fact, I can feel the grain raised. Huh. I wonder if I let this sit too long.
Is that a thing?
Guess so. I mean, the wood's still going to respond to whatever weather is going on in the atmosphere in which it's sitting. So, I started this during monsoon season when it was wetter, more humidity, and then, we went into fall where one day it was rainy and wet and snowy, then it wasn't. In my studio, the lowest has gotten down to temperature wise is 41. And then I kick the heater on. And right now we're at 58. So those constant changes, it's very possible because I didn't finish this and then seal it, that it raised the grain. Because I know I used a power sander on it.
Oh, okay. I see.
That's why why I'm having issues. So this would be a good example of what happens when you don't sand your wood.
Okay. Even though you did sand your wood.
Even though I sanded it, because I'm pretty sure had I jumped and finished this one, I wouldn't be fighting so hard.
See,
Lesson learned.
And that's something that you're adamant about sanding.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and it's bugging me right now. I should be able to feel... I can feel it. I don't even know how to explain it. Let me see if I can angle it.
Hummingbird Radio, I think I'm pronouncing that right, talks about not underestimating the wood. It can be a very complex material to work with.
Oh, absolutely. And each piece, even if it comes from the same tree, is different. This right here, let me see if I can point it without being... This right here should be smooth.
Wow.
And that's grain.
I actually can see that.
Yep.
That's unusual. Like, normally I'm used to you sanding down to 400.
I did sand this board to 400.
Well, I know you did. But I'm saying not being able to see any
This was
differences.
my fault. I should have finished it. See, you can see it along here.
Yeah. But now you're stuck with it, right? So now you gotta...
If there's a place that I really want smooth, I'll burn it. I'll sand it down, hand sand it down that area, and reburn it.
So Beryl wants to know if that's a blick cradle or...
No, this is a Treckel.
Okay.
This is the first Treckel cradle board. In fact, it's the only cradle board that I've burned on. Damn. Okay, well, I learned something.
See, we're all learning together.
Yeah, here, feel this, love.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can feel the grain.
It's still smooth, though.
It feels smooth, but then when you start burning over it, it's no longer.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was sitting here burning last night, I was like, this is not getting any better. Part of me almost took the damn power sander and sanded the whole thing back.
Well, I wish you wouldn't.
I didn't. Because right now, at this point, the way I'm looking at this is learning.
Yeah.
Practice. Which is, again, probably another reason why I didn't finish it in the first place.
Well, Philip is talking about when he's carving, when he takes a break from it and leaves it a long time, the grain will rise. If the weather changes and the wood reacts in accordance to the moisture.
Yep, and that's what I'm dealing with. I didn't even think about it. I've had pieces where I've worked on them for months and months off and on. And I guess I just never paid attention or realized that's what I was having a problem with. Until as I was really looking at this last night, going, I know I sanded this board. I sanded it because this is one of the boards for the review that I still haven't done. And I wanted to see how the sanding took because the Studio Blick cradle board, the veneer lifted. If you remember the flowers, I was having a problem with the veneer lifting. And Treckel assured me that wouldn't happen even if I went hard with sanding, so I did to test it. So I know I did it. Because of that, I'm having an issue burning. I'm gonna have to raise the heat, or I didn't want to. So note to self, I need to finish a piece before whatever season that we are in that I started it is over. Learn something new all the time. In fact, you should never stop learning, no matter how long you've done it. In my mind, if you stop learning, you die.
That's true.
Yep. Alright, so let's see how I can work with this. 'Cause that's, if I wanted a challenge, this is definitely a challenge. So I'm at almost 5.5 with the 18S. I'm going to go in here and try to shape some of this. And I'm also trying to think of ways that I can use it to my advantage. For rocks, it seems to be, in general, fine. For the fog, darker fog, it'll be fine. For the lighter fog, it might cause me a bit of issue.
Well, if anybody can do it, you can.
I don't know about that. We'll see. No sun. I want the snow. We're supposed to get 8 to 12 inches. Don't tell me that and then not have it happen. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to switch pens because this is another issue. It's not the pen's fault for what I want because the grain is raised. Big time raised. Brenda did a test on these on all the cradle boards she can get a hold of. I'm going to have to, she's up in Washington, contact her. Actually, hopefully she'll watch. She's the only one who's really wanted to see what was going on.
Robin is asking, so it's not good to have texture on your burns?
It depends on what you want. It really does. If you want texture, it is totally fine. But right now, you're having to fight the grain. Yeah, I'm fighting more than anything else. In the end, I can hopefully, even though I've got this going on, once I varnish it with polyacrylic, you won't see the raised grain so much. I'm just really having to alter how I do something. And see, for me, I don't like, let me see, because I'm fighting with this also. Let's see. There we go. So right here, because the grain was raised, how the tip touched down has made indents that I don't want. There we go. Maybe that's better. And the line over here, so I'm going to have to go with even higher heat to try to smooth those out. And because the grain was raised, sometimes the tip, regardless of what burner it is, sorry, my seat keeps going back. Regardless of the burner, whatever burner you're using, the grain is going to grab the tip. And sorry, trying to take my sweater off. I'm hot. Yeah, here we go. And it's going to gouge and not have it as smooth as you may want. There are times that that may be exactly what you want, but I think it's better to learn that on a piece where you want it to happen, not where you don't want it to happen. So I'm trying to go with the grain, and I am having to put a little pressure, which I don't like doing, in order to push the grain down. Let's see. The light is bouncing around, is under This is darker because it's under the cave or the rocks. So let's try. And this is a smooth, should have been a smooth burn. And it's not. And I kept switching tips trying to find what I could get a smooth burn with. Alright, not that.
Vera wants to know who's Brenda.
Brenda, Pyrography Made Easy. She's got a channel on here. I forgot to put her in the description. I feel bad. Sorry, Brenda. Hopefully she'll comment, and if you're watching on a replay, you can click on her her avatar to go to her channel, or just type in Pyrography ME in YouTube and she'll pop up. And if you also go to, after the live, I have a list of suggested channels and she should be on it. Because I do try to suggest other wood burners. Okay. So I'm going to go in little circles and a little bit of pressure at 5 with the 19L and try to incorporate the grain a little bit more evenly. Not incorporate, but smooth it down, actually. I may have to go higher heat.
Yeah, Lumen Prebeo says that they were building a commissioned bookshelf in August, and the piece took a week to build, and within that week the climate changed.
Oh,
and
no.
They had to do they had to redo 80% of the shelf.
And I think as flat work artists, we don't think about it because we're, focused on something else completely. This is definitely a lesson for all of us.
Well, I think with 2D work, you're not having to deal with larger issues like shrinkage and things like that, and expansion.
That's true.
And that really affects how things are put together, and here you're dealing with basically just the face of the wood, the texture, not the face, but the surface.
Yeah. That would be heartbreaking to have to redo 80% of the work. Mm-hmm. Again, I almost sanded this back, and let's just say the F words are still circling the vortex of my ceiling.
Yeah. Eve just linked.
Brenda. Thanks, Eve. I love our Eve. That's too dark.
Eve is our moderator. One of our moderators.
And Philip's our other awesome one.
Yeah, that's true.
I love Philip too. He's such a nice guy.
Does Philip have a channel?
No. In fact, Philip, do you have a channel or a page? Because I'd really like to link it in the description, even if it's Instagram. I always feel so bad.
But Eve has a channel.
Yes. She's always linked in the description.
She awesome watercolors.
Yeah.
Yep.
And cats.
And cats. So if you like cats, or watercolors, or both.
But you know what? You don't even have to like.
You just like awesome.
Yeah.
Go there. If you don't like awesome, I don't know why you're here. So, because there's so much awesome here.
I don't know about that. Right now, I'm still ready to put this through the damn sander.
Beryl is asking, what if you embossed the raised grain area with a cold tip to flatten the grain before you burned? Computing.
Yeah, I'm thinking. She wants me.
Philip says he doesn't have a channel, but he may have one soon.
Awesome! Yeah, but even in Instagram, a Facebook page, because he also moderates the Drawing with Fire group, along with Sheila, another awesome moderator.
Eve says about her channel, all the cats.
All the cats. You see, even if you're not into watercolors, watching other art media, you still learn a lot. So find people like Eve that interest you and are fun, and you get to listen to her awesome French-Canadian accent, which I am not going to recreate because it would hurt everybody's ears.
I think one of the first videos because you showed me Eve's channel.
A long time ago.
I do a lot of work with space star backgrounds, and Eve did some watercolor galaxy tutorials, and I was watching those, and those are really good.
What I've done is jump down to the rocks because right now they're less frustrating.
Don't slip when you jump on rocks. It can be slippery.
When what? See what I did there?
Yeah.
I did lower my heat down to 4 because I really gouged it there. I gouged it. So I'm just... Honestly, I'm giving my brain a break. Because I'm a little peeved. Oh, and Burl's question. Embossing it first. You could. But you have to worry about... Even with a cold tip, you are then pushing the graphite into the grain. So you'd have an even harder time erasing later on.
Yeah, I think that's something that's worth mentioning. Like when you have your pattern and it's in graphite, you use a really light hand.
I try to.
And I know that if you don't, it would be very difficult to erase.
It's harder, but doable.
Well, and you'll still get like an indentation in the...
Oh, if you do it hard, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just noticed...
What's that?
We're just supposed to be discussing light.
I'm trying to bring it back in every so often when I'm making the fog. Because we did a lot of talking about light last week.
Did we?
We did.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Because
I was there.
You were there because Cindy asked about seeing the light, or shadows. She was having an issue with shadows. And right now, because this light source is all over the place for this one, I am for now going along with my reference photo. But by putting this dark rock in this area, when I start shaping it lightly, hopefully it's not going to fight me too much. This rock, even though I burn the area, it will make it look lighter.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get it in. And then it's also, I'm just blocking in so I can get rid of the graphite without outlining. And some of the fog light is bouncing onto the rock. Not a whole lot though, actually. I did not expect the discussion to change to the grain because I was having so many problems.
Well, that was an unforeseen occurrence.
It just finally hit me last night. I'm just trying to get this in. This goes down, kind of like a diamond. This rock is actually going to be relatively easy.
Is it a rock?
Yes, it's a rock. This one right here.
Are you sure it's not a rock lobster?
If I grunt, if I growl, they can't hear it.
No rock lobster?
Alright, so this rock, because it is closer than, say, the rocks for the waterfall, it is closer, so putting in the stippling, the longer I touch down, the darker it'll be. Stippling in the direction of how the rock face is will give me less work to do. I can erase the lines. Trying not to have a pattern. I mean, patterns do happen. Get that in there. I even have a little bit of a crag without trying. Let's see here, we got fog that's coming up there. We don't have fog here. Let's get that in there.
Ted has a comment. Rock lobster?
Ted. Ted.
And Eve's rhyming.
Eve's rhyming? What you rhyming about?
Mobster, Foster, Toaster.
Poster.
We're getting close to toasties.
Alright, so I'm kind of just bouncing the pen around, scribbling and tapping at the same time. These are your friends. Because now we get more of a liking.
Scribbling and tapping are my only friends.
I have to be careful because stippling puts me to sleep.
Yeah. Puts me to sleep too.
But it's not because I'm bored, it's because it's a pattern being tapped out.
That would be bad if we both went to sleep on the live stream. Just snoring.
Especially you snoring.
Yeah.
Alright.
You know, the thing with patterns is once you establish once you start tapping, your brain will try and organize that.
Yep.
And it doesn't take very long. Like, here's an interesting fact.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so, because I'm a safety guy, one of the things that you learn is about stairs, is that by the third stair step,
Yeah.
your mind has already calibrated the minimum distance it takes for you to lift your feet in order to clear the next stair. So stairs have to be uniform, because if they're even off a few millimeters, you'll trip, and that becomes a safety issue. So if you have stairs that aren't uniform, you'll know right away, because you'll probably trip or scuff your feet. And it's the same thing when you're stippling, because within a few seconds, your brain is already trying to establish a pattern, and you've got to fight that. Or with any kind of point work like that. Are you awake?
I'm awake, I'm
Okay.
listening. The hand's still moving, though I can stipple in my sleep. Don't ask me how I know that. Not good.
Senna always wants to know what you do with all of your wood burnerines, aside from selling them.
They hang on the wall till they sell.
Oh.
They hang on the wall till they sell. Running out of wall space.
It's true.
Well, your paintings are huge.
Well, we need to get a step ladder so that we can hang some of them higher.
Yes, we do. Alright, so. Trying to get some. Make it look like. What are you doing?
I'm trying. I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
And tired.
I'm tired.
Someone got me out of bed this morning.
Yeah, I'd already been up for an hour.
Yeah, just because you're up doesn't mean everybody else has got to get up.
It's time for your medicine.
It was time for my medicine earlier. You just wanted me up.
Well, you said you were going to get up, and you didn't.
You believe me? Ha!
No, I was just being nice.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So I got a bit of a rock here. I can always go and I'm not caring about what's light and dark on the rock. I just want it to be able to break up the fog that's going to be much smoother. Let's see, that comes down. And I got... I could go with a smaller pen on this. I got a smaller area.
Ted made a Rudolph's Red-Nosed Reindeer reference. He said you could get a humble bumble to hang them.
Yeah, yes. That would be nice. Alright. Get some of this shaped in there. And the light is bouncing off the fog onto these rocks. That part of the fog is darker. What tip? What tip? What tip?
You're the pro. Don't ask me.
Don't always feel like it. I'm hot too. If I turn off that heater, it'll cool off real quick in here. So just push through it. I'm gonna go back to the 18. I feel that I have the most control with it. Because why is my favorite pen? No sun, no sun.
It just came out.
I know, and it
it's
needs to just go
probably
away.
Go away. You shouldn't focus on it.
You
so
always
much.
say that.
Yeah, because it's
Doesn't.
true.
Alrighty. So, right here we got, I'm looking at a black and white. Excuse me. We got a medium. So I'm going to touch down in the rock. That way I don't have a blob.
So for hanging the wood burn means it depends on what it is. If it's a cradle board, it doesn't necessarily need a hanger because you have something to hang it on. But normally we'll get.
I'm probably going to have to show her what a cradle board is.
But normally we'll get like picture bounding kits.
Cradle board. It is cradled, so you can just hang it.
Yeah. And then so we'll get hanging hardware with a wire because that's the most accepted thing to hang in galleries and for exhibitions. And then for thin pieces, we'll actually frame those.
Yeah,
and
I cut my own mats and frame them.
Yeah, and then we'll put the mounting hardware on the back of the picture frame just like you would anything else.
You can pull one of those off the wall. I don't. The Otter has hanging wire.
Does it?
It should.
Did I put it on there?
Yep.
Oh. No, it doesn't.
Oh.
It's just a stock frame. I already had the hardware on it.
By the door, the flowers.
Oh,
I know for a fact those have them.
yeah, I did too. I'm trying to hang up your Otter without dropping it.
Just put it on the counter. I'll put it back up.
I got it.
Alright, so we got lighter fog here. Need to get any graphite off because that graphite will show through the lighter burn. Make it look dirty and darker than it is. And if it doesn't come off the first time, the more I erase, the more it comes off. So, should have touched the rock first. So blur, blur, blur. Alright, what Jason means by hanging wire is this one's on a cradle board. These are the cherry blossoms. Don't need that for right now. And this is hanging wire that he's attached into the cradle board. So it just sits. So this hanging wire, you use that on the frames too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially the big ones.
Yeah, it's plastic coated.
Yeah. And it just hangs. And that be it. We can use it right here, it's fine.
I'll put it back.
And Ted said he uses command Velcro strips. Because mine are matte and most of mine are matte and framed. I don't know that I would trust doing Velcro.
Yeah.
It
has to be lighter. Like
yeah, if it was just a panel without matte and frame, I think that would be fine. Good, you know.
Because a lot of your stuff is heavy with the glass.
Yeah, the glass and the frame itself. Then I'm adding 1 to 2 mats depending on what it is and what color I want and how far I want it from the frame. Also depends on how thick the board that I burned on is. Because if I burn on the 1/4 inch birch, to put 2 mats into the frame means I'm not getting the back on. I found that out with the bobcats. So I could only go with one mat. Trying to smooth this out. They don't like me. Right now I'm not liking it. But I have to keep telling myself I gotta put the other stuff in, or it's going to feel off. Gotta give myself a little bit. You can't. Before I freak out. And at this point, this piece may never be done.
Ever.
Right now, if I wasn't on camera, I would have already cussed it out and put it away. Just being honest. Would not have liked my words.
Ted says command strips get up to 50 pounds.
Huh.
I don't think I'm familiar with those then.
Or I'm just too...
One of the other things that we have to deal with, though, is that with the the mounting wire, like some of the places that we exhibit, like if we're exhibiting a restaurant or even like because we exhibited in
coffee
shop and also a sushi bar, which is a really nice sushi bar
restaurant,
restaurant, but we. It depends on the hardware that they have on site, that sometimes we're able to use zip ties, and if we have the wire hanger, then we could put a zip tie to like physically connect the hanger to the mounting hardware, and that way that keeps people from just walking off with a small piece.
And that has actually not to us, but has happened to another local artist.
Mm-hmm.
One day their painting was hanging on the wall, and the next day it was gone.
Yeah, and that's something that it's unfortunately not something that you should have to think about, but you really do have to think about it.
I've got a rock right here. What I'm going to do to help my brain, because I am so frustrated, is I'm going to use this to put some darks in, so this won't feel, hopefully, for my brain, so rough. And because this is very close up, we're going to have details in it. I will say one thing and it's not Trakel's fault or anybody else's fault, that can be a bit uncomfortable, is if you go with the thicker cradle board. This one I think is 1 3/4 inches. It's a lot further off my board, so resting my hand is a lot harder to balance and get the line I want.
Sienna's here.
Hey, Sienna. Alright, so...
And she's upset that she missed the live stream, but we still have 30 more minutes, so...
Let's get some of these darks in. And yeah, I am burning over the graphite of the dark. You're not going to see it. It's really the light burning part.
Philip has to go.
Hi, Philip.
He hates to run, but he has to go. But he loves it.
Thank you.
Chat's kind of like, Beryl is asking for a framing video, and Sinrose wants to know how you put a piece of wood in a frame, but I don't know. Like, I think that there's probably a lot of framing videos out there.
Well, I don't make my frames, I buy them.
Yeah, and as far as like, cutting mats and things like that.
You can pull the bobcats and take off the back.
Pull the bobcats.
There. You want to just pull those, take off the back, and you can see how a lot of tape. Because if you don't use a lot of tape to tape the wood to the mat, the wood can slide. But yeah, I don't make my frames. I don't have time. And
you sure you want me to do this?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, did I take? Yeah, it's fine. Or
because you taped down the.
Yeah. What other wood? Oh, you can't reach the leaves right now.
I mean, it's just a matter of putting new tape on.
Yeah, it's fine. So let's get this in here. We got some texture. This texture does show up because it's closer. And he's gonna I'm just trying to do enough that my eyes stop being mad.
You have angry eyes?
Well, I got angry eyes at the wood.
Forget your angry eyes.
I'm just very frustrated with how this looks. I am not happy. Just being honest. This one won't go to competition. There's too many things. No. Even if I got it finished, there's too many things wrong with it that I won't submit it. Alright. Yeah, I got nervous with that one, so I taped the hell out of it to keep it, to ensure that it stayed. Alright, let me back out the camera.
You should probably show the front of it after you show the back.
Alright, so when I put a piece into a mat, and this mat is actually a purchase mat because everything I was doing was standard size. So I have to tape it. This one's a thick board. This is the this one's the Bobcats. So I had to go all this thick stuff. I'm gonna move this. Oops, sorry. Just hit the camera. So, because it's thick, this is heavy duty painter's tape that's holding it in, so it won't go anywhere because they will slide. So it's just a matter of attaching it to the mat and putting it in the glass. And actually, this is a double mat. That's why I had the issue. Aha. But I like the double mat look. So that is why. Can I have the back? Please. I had to tape the back because this is a different frame than I'm used to. And trying to get all the tongs thingy, whatever you want to call them, down. Because you notice, maybe, kind of, it bows. So I had to tape down, but I might actually pull the second mat. That's the word I was looking for. Alright, let's get back in here. I have it this low. Do I have to hold it so high? Alright, so 4.5 on these rocks. Just trying to get the shape in. I'm not going to go all the way over right now because I'm using it as a dark to offset the light. I can go in and do more of it later. We just have it in. Alright, so we got fog there. That is a darker fog than our piece going through. Take off the eraser. I'm gonna erase it. You don't have to worry about love. I'll put it back together.
I just did.
Oh. I normally have to use like a screwdriver and hit them to get them in.
I did it.
Okay. Okay, so I've lowered the heat down to 3.5. Let's touch down in the rock. Now, because this fog is the darker fog, try to pull it out. I can't see anything. There we go. I couldn't see my reference photo. I'm trying to get it as smooth as I can. This is a darker area, so I'll put that in there. It also looks like there might be a bit of a waterfall coming down here. So, without putting any detail, because it is foggy, I'll get those in there. And since I have the rock, this is a darker area. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to erase. And we'll see how it stands out, hopefully. The light should really come to life, and I shouldn't have to burn too much. Okay, I'm going to take off the graphite so I don't burn it in. So I have an idea of where it's going. I can take it away. I know that can be freaky sometimes, but after you've been looking at your reference for a while, hopefully you start kind of remembering where things go. But you still need to pay attention closely to your reference, because you might think something goes in one place and then pull a me and find out, oops, it didn't go there.
Sian is asking, do you find edges of wood harder to burn? Do you sand your board edges slightly rounded, or do you leave them sharp?
If it is a panel or a cradle board, I leave it sharp. If it is an actual board without bark, I tend to round them. Just because I like the look better. A lot of this is personal preference, what you like.
I'll be right back.
Alright, so got that in. Our lightest strip of the fog, where the light is hitting it the most, is right here. So I need to shape my rock a little better. See, he opened the door and I could tell without hearing or seeing because of the air. Alright, so this goes like this. Let's get our curve in. Curve goes that way. Goes up. Bring it down. Go away, graphite. Don't need you right now. Alrighty. Yeah. Grab my pin better. So, now the darker I go with this area.
You were talking about me, were you?
It's no fun if we don't. But we love you. This part's darker. This part is later. Trying not to get a line. I don't want a line. Because in getting a line, it will detail it out, and fog is misty and atmospheric, and that's the feeling I really want for this piece. So trying to smooth this out. And it looks like I can, looking at the black and white, I can go darker. Or even looking at where I've done it here. This is the same value as right here. Okay, just made that really dark. It's okay. It's okay. Let's make this darker.
Robin wants to know how come your studio is so cold.
Because it is a room that the landlord built into the garage. And let's just say I'm pretty sure they went the cheapest route they could.
So, you don't really think it's insulated?
Oh no, it's insulated, but not like it should be. I mean,
I'm pretty sure the floor isn't.
oh, no, it's not. Plus, I've got the big window that when it is really windy, you can hear the wind. The first time I heard the wind, I was like, whoa! I actually feel the wind with a closed window. I've tried to seal it up the best I can. But...
Beryl has to go.
Hi, Beryl. Have fun storming the beach.
And she says it's looking great so far. And Elena P is here.
Hey, Lonnie. Let me get that in there. So, I'm just trying to get some of this in so we can see it and how much using light and dark around an area helps you to create what you want. It helps though if you're bored, the grain doesn't raise. And I just did not pay attention. My bad.
Well, Lenny P says it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
I also think it looks fantastic. What?
It doesn't.
Can't not accept my compliment. That's rude.
I appreciate it, but I see just so many things wrong with it.
As an artist.
More so than I normally do. Let me finish because this one is really bothering me.
Bernadette likes it.
That's not saying much.
Hey!
You said I'm Bernadette. So how can she like it?
No, that's not what I said.
No, we still gotta make the other toasties. Alright, so trying to darken. Because back here is darker. So I'm gonna bump up to 4.5. And then too dark. Too dark. Oh, no, not really. Let's keep it. Let's keep it. But see, you can see the grain right there. And again, if it's working with your project, then there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't particularly care for it. Whether you know, it's not wrong in any way. I just don't care for it for my pieces. It's something that really stands out to me. And this would, yeah, I just... Now on camera, does it look different? Do we look like we're getting some fog?
I think so.
Kind of, sort of.
Lenny B says, fantastic. Lots of exclamation points.
Alright. See here, going in here, we are darker. Let's get that in there. Hopefully. I've got to remember that the reference photo I'm looking at is bigger than my board. I can see more of the sides. And I forget that. Yeah, it's almost like as we're sitting here, the grain is raising. What is that?
Ted says he tried to do moss like that, and his first comment on it was, wow, great tree bark, or that tree bark looks great. I always hate that. And it's like, when I was first starting portraits, you know, I'd like work really hard on this portrait, and I'd show it and be like this portrait of a woman, and somebody would be like, oh man, that is awesome. Who is that guy?
Oops. At this point, I don't even know what I got.
Eve is asking what will make the grain not raise.
Had I did my sanding, and I could have wet the board, let it dry, and then sand it. And what that does is it raises the grain or the nap of the wood. So when you sand it, you're getting closer to what, and you can do that over and over again. And what it does is each time you raise the grain and sand, each time it gets less and less as to what raises, because you're already knocking it down, and with each sanding, it also closes off the pores of the wood. Had I done that in conjunction with ensuring that I got this done before any big weather change, I wouldn't be dealing with this. Not really.
Cinderos has to go.
Hi, Cindy.
Ash Kusanagi is here.
Hey, yeah.
Did we already say hi?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They were like one of the second person.
Were they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And chat. Alright. So this is darker. Gotta get this dark in. This dark matters for the rest of the fog. I'm trying to get it so it's not a line. At this point, I might have to cut this short because even though I know I can fix things, I am still very frustrated right now.
And it's so rare to see you frustrated.
Like what I'm feeling right now, it actually is. I can get a little perturbed if it's not going the way I want it. But the way I'm feeling right now, yeah. I haven't had this feeling in a long time. Because this fog, I wanted smoother than what I'm getting. See, even if I tilt it so that the light hits it like it was hanging on the wall, it's still rougher than I want. But at least I can see the fog, camera-wise, I can see the fog developing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I keep going, because I can see the potential that the grain really has raised. So now I'm trying to get in between the grain. And see, this is why you'll see people saying, you don't use pine. It's frustrating. The grain on birch is very tight. And for the most part, hardness-wise the same. Well, with pine, it's more spread out. And you got really hard areas and really soft areas. That's good. This is not the smoothness that I want.
Well, when do you want to leave off?
Here in a few minutes. What time is it?
It's till 12:20.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Okay, what are we doing next week?
What are we doing?
Well, I really wanted to have the elephants done by yesterday.
Yeah.
But then I had a major flare-up that...
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Literally kept me from burning because even when I stopped having the flare, everything was still very achy and swollen and sore. I did get some more work done on the elephants, if you guys want to see that.
What, next week or right now?
No, right now. I pulled the board over here somewhat, next to you, so that they could see. They haven't said they wanted to see yet, but...
You know they're going to say they want to see.
Well, let me pop this off.
No, Val, don't show the elephants.
Let's see, pop this off so we got more camera space. Alrighty, so the last time with the elephants, where did we leave off? Oh, we talked about the grass and background. What I'm quickly doing is trying to pull a photo from last week. Pretty sure. Okay, so last week that is, hopefully that's bright enough. Alright, so last week, this is where I left off on the elephants. And this is where they are now. I still need to do a lot more burning, but at least it's getting there. Let me Move this guy. I'm just so mad at that one. Go away.
Don't be
Go away.
mad.
I'm mad.
Don't be mad.
I'm mad. So that's where this guy is.
You're just hangry.
I bet, yes. There we go. You see the light better. I definitely have a lot of darkening to do, but I'm actually kind of liking how the background I've got in, and then just a bit of negative burn of grass. I still got to do this side, and I just went from here to here with the background, and that looks like it might be enough. We'll see as it goes. So I did get some work done. This was another, let me see here, how many photos do I got? This was another 2 hours, 2.5 hours after the live. No, 1, 2, 3, 3 hours, sorry. Because that's where we were at the end. And that's where I am. So hopefully I can have them done this week. Too many, I gotta fix the pattern on this a little bit. The baby's off. Other than that...
Well, you're getting all our compliments.
Oh, thank y'all. So, can't really see anything there. That's where these guys are. Hopefully they'll be done next week. And these, as long as I don't really screw it up, these will go to competition.
You won't.
You always say that. And look at the hummingbird. It's screwed up.
It's not. You're a pessimist.
So next week...
Ozark says hi, though.
Hey, Ozarks. What do we do next week? I really don't want to... Oh, no, we were going to talk about the community burning.
Yes.
I have it drawn out. I'm going to take it into the computer and do some digital coloring and lighting. That way you have a decent reference photo to look at. Burning. Audio burns. Time travel. Are we losing you, Ted? Are you traveling somewhere else? Alright. So. Hey, Ray. It's been a long time. Glad you could join us.
Hey, Ray.
So, can you think of anything else?
No.
Because I'm trying to think about techniques that I've not covered, and I think I've covered a lot. It's already February, so we're going to be having the critique soon. In fact, what's the date? We could do the next Tuesday as a critique. Give me a break.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay, so next Tuesday will be the 12th. And then the following 17th for those who can't make the 12th. So next week is critiques. That's what we shall do. I will put a post in the Drawing with Fire group, and you can just post your comments and your pictures under that post. And if you are watching this on replay and have not joined the group, which has it, all of them are awesome, description's down in the link below. And biggest thing, don't forget, you are awesome. You can do this. You're a pyro artist.
Yeah.
Happy burning, guys.
Bye.
Bye.